The market's not just going to hand you 9,400% a year to date on Bitcoin on a silver platter. You're going to have to suck it up, buttercup, to get to that level. This is Ryan, CEO and head quant here at happytrader.io. Today, we're going to be looking at the Bitcoin CME futures contract, and we're going to be looking at some back testing for this month and year to date on the Bitcoin CME futures contract, which is fully regulated from the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. So if you think you missed the big run of Bitcoin, you might not have missed anything. We're going to be talking about this in context of our indicator, which is the best performing indicator on TradingView. We've tested it against all the other indicators, and ours is the best. The only thing we're going to do in this video is look at the Bitcoin CME futures, both year to date and then just for this month. So for March 2024. And if you think you have missed Bitcoin, you might have another thing coming. This might get your spirits up, and this might show you both the pros and the cons about leverage. Now, before I get into this video, I have to say this. This is not financial advice. This is for educational purposes only. If you're getting emotional about a trade, chances are you are over position size. So with that out of the way, let's get into the back testing. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to run two sets of back tests. We have Bitcoin up, so we can reset the chart view here and kind of compress it a little bit. And you can see the signals we're going to be going off of if we turn on the long only here and then just bring this down are these uptrend and downtrend signals. Now, we're not doing these buy and sell signals. This is not super trend. We trade strictly off of the happy trader signals. So we might have a potential trend reversal, like a buy and a sell that might show you, hey, maybe the sentiment is changing a little bit. And that's why we have our trend very similar to a shell of super trend. But at the end of the day, we're not making any trades based on these buys and sells. And if you do, you're going to get absolutely obliterated. So I wanted to get that out of the way as well. The next thing we're going to do is get into the back test. We're going to be looking at a swing trading time frame. We'll just use the 45-minute chart. Bitcoin's extremely volatile. I don't think any of you who are watching this have the time to sit there 24 hours a day and take a trade every 5-minute signal that we get. So we're going to use a 45-minute interval for this. We're going to bring up the strategy tester. And the first thing we're going to do is make sure deep back testing is turned on. The next thing we want to do is make sure that we're superimposed. We have our buy AI signals here, and we're just simply closing on the downtrend signals and then reloading again on that next uptrend signal. You can see we're buying there, closing here, right? So that's what we're doing for the long only. So we're going to get into the strategy tester here. Normally we do about $1,000 account. We're going to do a $10,000 account for this particular video, but I will switch it back so you can see what a small account would have done, and I'll compare it for you. So we're going to turn off pyramiding. Pyramiding is just going to mean we're entering two orders in the same direction. We're only going to use one contract. Remember, futures are highly leveraged notional products. It will fluctuate the notional depending on the contract that you're trading, how many contracts you are trading, and the underlying value. So we're going to go ahead and just start with the 10,000, and we're going to get into it. First thing we're going to do is look at the year to date. Let's see how we're doing, and let's go ahead and generate the report. All right, and we have a nice little report here. We do have a little bit of a drawdown here on the long only. So we did dip down about, it looks like a 73% drawdown. So that's the bad news. That's nothing to scoff at. That can really get some people worried about what's going on. But if you don't use your emotions and you're just looking at the machinery of how this strategy is working, you can see that at the end of the day, 944% is what we ended up with. And if Bitcoin's too big, you could always trade the micro NASDAQ or something like that instead. Now, the number of closed trades, 15, the percent profitable. So this is the win rate, 33%. And then we had the average expectancy per trade. We only had 15 trades year to date so far. If we go to the list of trades, you can just see, we'll just start at the bottom. We're going to look at just these trades, and you can see that we're only winning about a little more. This is very typical for Happy Trader, a little more than 1 out of 3 trades, right? So this is super consistent with Happy Trader, okay? So 1 out of 3 trades, around 30% is the win rate. But look, the winners significantly dwarf the losers. Look, big winner there, smaller losers there. We have a huge winner there and more smaller losers, small loser, small loser. Now, something you want to definitely take note of is not everybody's going to prefer the style of trading from uptrend to downtrend signal. And this is something I say in a ton of videos as well, is sometimes you want to take profit, right? So let's go back to the chart. First off, you can see the run-ups over here. So this was a $2,900 loser, but you can see it ran up $2,600. You can see this one was a 42,000 winner, but it actually ran up 48. $1,000, right? So, and then this one the same, and then this one ran up about 50% compared to what you would have lost. So if we go back to the chart, you can see if you get an uptrend signal here and then Bitcoin moves up to like here, hey, maybe you want to take some profit, right? And you can see some folks absolutely did. And then on the next trade up, the next leg up, folks took profit as well. But you can see going back to the strategy tester, performance summary looks great. We did wonderful. This is outperforming every hedge fund out there, is outperforming Wall Street. I'm doing these videos for you, the retail trader, and that's really all there is to it. And all of my findings are now presented to you in the form of Happy Trader. Now that we looked at the year to date for the 45-minute chart long only, let's just look at what we're looking at for the month. The month's been a little shaky, so let's see what we have. So month looks fine. It's funny because there's only been one closed trade. So basically, essentially in March, Bitcoin has gone straight up. And this is the first time that we've had this back test. And you can just see list of trades. There's no trade. There's an open trade still on. So you can see the average trade expectancy 100% profitable. So that's going to be your month to date. So that's just in the last 15 days. So March 2024, another 179% there. Now, if we go back, let's look at a couple other things. Let's go to the long and short. So we're going to disable the long only. And when we turn on the long and the short, we're still going to stick to the 45-minute chart. You can see it's just a little bit different. See how there's more going on? So what we're doing here is we're buying AI, but once we get to a sell signal, we're selling an AI, we're closing the entry, and then we're shorting, right? So we're going short on the sell AI, and you can see if we just swap this out, you will not have that short, right? So you're just closing the buy there. But if we switch to the long and the short, you can see that we are now shorting the market on the downtrend signals and we're covering both ways, right? So again, we're going to use one contract here. We're just going to go into our settings. Let's use a $10,000 account. And then if we have time, we'll go back and just see what the scalability is. On the $1,000 account, we're just going to do one contract again. And then we're going to go in on the long and the short. And the first thing we're going to do is just switch this back. And we're going to do 0101. And let's just double check everything's good. Yep, good to go on the 10,000. And this is going to assume a little bit of a buffer in your trading account. And then we're going to generate the report. And you can see on the long and the short, a more severe drawdown. And in fact, you almost got wiped out of that 10,000. But look, 566%. Not too shabby, right, for the entire year. Now, you can see when you go long and short, your volatility is going to match the volatility of the market, right? You're going to be bobbing and weaving with the market. And you can see on days like today, Bitcoin just getting completely flushed out. You're going to be along for those rides instead of just waiting for the upswing, right? So the moral of the story there is that securities go up over time. They tend to. We don't know what crypto is going to do yet, right? But they tend to go up over time. If any of these instruments are going to go up over time, it's probably going to be Bitcoin if blockchain technology is to become the new norm and become something that people mass adopt, right? And if we go to the long and the short, if you try to short the market on a macro scale while the market's going straight up, you're not going to have a good time because you have such a small trading window, two trades on the 45-minute chart, it's going to look a lot different. Now, if we switch this back again, and you can see a larger trading window, you can see these drawdowns look a lot different. So if you can stomach them, then you can. If you can't, then you're over position sized, right? So you can see the long and the short performs well over time. But if you're just talking about two trades, three trades, it's going to be a hit or a miss, right? But at the end of the day, that's what you're going to get. So if we look at the bottom line of what it was as far as percent gain, we have a loser there because there's two trades and Bitcoin has gone straight up. So you turn on the long only again and you can see this thing has gone straight up. And this is, again, the biggest jut upward that we have done in any backtest for Happy Trader. So just be cautious of instruments that you're trading on longer time frames, whether you're paper trading, learning how to trade, whatever you're doing. And I'm not telling you how to trade your real money, but I'm just saying most assets tend to go up over time. So one last thing I want to do is switch everything back to an ultra small account size. And you can just see that the scalability here, we'll look at the long only. We're going to switch this to January 1st. And we're just going to go year to date on that. And you can see crazy, right? The percent profitable is the same, but when you start with a lower amount, you're just going to gain that leverage opportunity. Now, you did have drawdowns initially. So if you're someone who's sitting there and staring at your phone or staring at your, not just letting the probabilities play out, yeah, you're going to get shaken out of these types of moves. And that's how the market works, right? It's going to shake out novices out of these moves. The market's not just going to hand you 9,400% year to date on Bitcoin on a silver platter. You're going to have to suck it up, buttercup, to get to that level. And that's really going to be that. We will switch back to the long and the short, and let's do the year to date there. And let's go ahead and set this sucker to a $1,000. And let's go ahead and generate there. And you can see again, percent profitable actually lower than usual. So a lot of losers, right? Lots of losers. You can see them, especially in the beginning. Anybody in their right mind who's staring at this is going to go, wow, this is a losing strategy, until you let the probabilities play out. So that's why position sizing is crucial. This is also why you have not missed Bitcoin. And my name is Ryan, CEO and head quant here at happytrader.io, the best indicator available on TradingView. Happytrader.io is where you can get it. Have a great day and happy trading.